Shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give our praise and glory and honor unto Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And this is Brother Haran.
Khan, this is Brother Rakar.
And we're with the sons of Jacob. In today's breakdown, we're going to touch on the Gentiles. And the world believes that the Gentiles only refers to as the nations that are not Israel. But we're going to shed some light on it that Gentiles and heathens can also be Israel. It can go both hands, basically.
Khan. And just to touch on what brother was saying, through the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, we're going to pull a lot of precepts tonight and show you, through thy precepts I get understanding. And we're going to show you through them precepts that, we fell off as a nation and became Gentiles.
God.
So I'll go ahead and start with, Sirach 36. Because you got actual scriptures or salakia prayers in the Bible for us overthrowing and destroying our enemies. We would actually throw up these prayers. You got Psalms, you got some in Sirach. It's actual prayers that you can go into, and you can actually pray these prayers for your enemies to be destroyed. Now, these is talking about actual Gentiles, actual heathens, not no Israelite Gentile, not no Israelite heathen. You got something you want to say real quick?
Yes, like before you get that out, I want to bring out Malachi 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
That's right.
So with that, you got to deal with that. Was the Lord lying when he said that? No, God forbid, he's not.
Right.
If he changed not, salvation is only for Israel. He's only dealing with Israel. Salvation was never for heathens. It was never for Gentiles. So therefore, in the New Testament, it's not going to be for heathens. It's not going to be for Gentiles. So you just got to deal with that. You can go ahead and trust.
You got to deal with that. Hey, get Jeremiah 3 and 23. I get this quick precept. Come on. Hey, you got to deal with that Malachi 3 and 6.
3 and 23?
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 23. Truly in vain salvation is hoped for.
Read that slower. Chop it up.
Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains.
Con, and that's the point. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the mountains. And I'm going to show you in another precept that when it says hills and mountains, it's referring to these other nations. And the Most High will refer to heathens and a multitude of nations as hills, as big nations, as mountains, So I'm going to show you. And you can go ahead and finish that up.
Truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel.
Salvation is only for Israel, So when you go into Paul's letters, you go into Galatians and Romans and these different epistles, you can't forget what the Most High said in Malachi 3. You can't forget what he said in the Old Testament, You can't forget them things. So I'm going to go ahead and prove this to you with another precept. This is Jeremiah 51, and I'll start at 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. Now we know that mountains don't get up and walk and go destroy people. You know what I'm saying? So what is it talking about when it says mountain? O destroying mountain, I am against you. Is Yahweh is he against the mountain that he created? La'ah. So this mountain is talking about a multitude of people. And we got that context from the verse before, the verse 24, who is really talking about. But yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of saying. You got to be able to discern whether it's talking about actual Gentiles or if it's talking about, Israelites who were acting like Gentiles. And you got anything you want to touch on before I go into this?
When you deal with the word Gentiles, I believe there's 3 definitions of Gentiles. And the one we're dealing with is Hellenized Gentiles. Israel taking on heathenish manner, heathenish ways. And that's what we became. We became heathens. We became Gentiles because we were Hellenized by them. Go ahead.
Hey, going after the heathenish customs. Hey, get that Jeremiah 10. It's a lot. So through thy precepts, I get understandings. And tonight we're going to pull a lot of precepts,
Pull 1,000 precepts. What is it, Jeremiah 10 what?
Yeah, starting 1.
Hear ye, this is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Con.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the who?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Now, is that talking about Israelites or is that talking about actual heathens? Of course, that's talking about actual heathens. Con. So with that being said, I'm going to grab another precept proving, that there's actual heathens. So you got to be able to discern through the spirit if it's talking about, Israelites or Northern Kingdom or Southern Kingdom, or if it's really talking about a damn Edomite or, an actual Gentile, a Hivite, a Hanmite, a Ethiopian,
Moabite.
Con. So this is Sirach chapter 36 and verse 1. So this is a prayer to be delivered from your enemies, for your enemies to get destroyed. And you can read this, through the spirit and getting that mindset, because, sometimes just being around Edomites day to day, you might forget that all of the things that they had done to your people. So I'm not saying you got to go out there with the knife on you, with the slap on you, and, aim it down to, somebody's mouth or nothing like that. But you can't forget. He told you in Deuteronomy 32, I believe verse 7, remember the days of old. So you can't forget about what they did to your people, what they do to you currently. So this is Sirach 36 and 1. Have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. It says, lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. Verse 4, as thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. So just to shed some light on that fourth verse, it says, as thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. Because the Most High will build up, a nation just like he did with Egypt. Egypt was mighty. People wanted to go to Egypt, so because they had, the army, the protection, so like Paul told you that he was well learned in the Egyptians. Hey, these men had, things set up. People was well learned in the way of the Egyptians. People had different things and idols they would worship. Materials. Had different knowledge. These men dressed a certain way, moved a certain way. I mean, they was a mighty nation. And right. And just how the Lord set them up just to be destroyed and magnify his name, he gonna do that again with America. So a lot of people want to come to America for their schools, for their colleges, for this information, for these different doctrines, all of these different philosophies and these men of great esteemed men.
For protection.
For protection. A lot of people will flee from where they at, a third world country, and come here, and get away from that and have, a better life. Right?
The American dream.
Hey, people didn't heard about America. I want to be there. It's a lot of things. People will leave Africa. Somebody that work at my job, he said, when you in America, it's a lot of different avenues you can take. You can do a lot of different things. So, it's nothing new upon the earth. So the same reason why they come here to America be the same reason why they went to Egypt. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to jump to verse 7. It says, raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Now, who is that talking about? This is an actual prayer to destroy your enemy. Salah. It says, make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare my wonderful works. And you got to understand that it's talking about your actual enemies, the ones who led you into captivity. And then he cleared it up for you in verse 8. Make the time short. Remember the covenant. Who did he make that covenant with? With Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And upon that seed forever. So you can't forget that you got enemies according to the Bible. It ain't all, goody gumdrop.
It ain't
all peaches and ice cream.
The Lord divided the land amongst everybody because everybody's supposed to be divided, separate. Not supposed to be one.
Let me go ahead and prove that with a scripture. Real quick. I get this one. I get the Luke.
After you get that, I got a precept for that prayer.
Okay. It's a lot. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. So there you got it out of the Lord's mouth, out of Yahweh's mouth. He said it.
God. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
Pour out thy fury upon the heathen.
Upon the who?
Upon the heathen.
Now that's talking about actual heathens. Go ahead.
That know thee not, and upon the families that call not on thy name. For they have eaten up Jacob, and devoured him, and consumed him, and have made his habitation desolate.
And that's what these heathens do. They wear out the saints of the Most High, going back to Daniel. So, and you know, through that precept, the people that didn't know him would be the heathens. And I'm going to show you right here. So this is 2nd Esdras 3, and I'm going to start at 35. It says, or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Hey, so they don't know the Most High. They don't know how to please the Most High. You know, they never knew because the Most High didn't give them them commandments, didn't give them that understanding on the right hand side. All they got is, you know, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on that left hand side. They got that spiritual demon Satan on their side. So that's what they know how to do. That's the best thing they can do. Is wear out the saints of the Most High. Salak. And I get 2nd Esdras 6 and 54. So something over here. So right now we just proving to you that they're that the heathens, and then you got Israelite acting like heathens, you know? So I'm just proving to you that there's a difference between Israel and, you know, the heathens.
Okay.
But then we're going to go through the precepts and show you how Israel became heathens.
Okay.
All right, so this is 2nd Esdras 6 and 54. And after these, Adam also, who thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. So everybody come from Adam. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. So you got a chosen people. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. You know, and these heathens, they think that the world is theirs. You know, they got the skyscrapers. In Brazil, they had made Jesus really look like a heathen.
An Edomite.
Edomite, you know.
Worst of them all.
And these are things we got to consider. Why would they do that? You know, so we can't relate no more to what's really going on in the Bible.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep going, and then you can pull that.
Okay.
Verse 56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So he made a clear division. He got his people, his chosen people, who he gave the world to. Then you got the other people. And later on in this chapter, you see that them other people is also known as heathens. And I'm going to get to that. But he said that they ain't nothing. They always been reputed as nothing. Salak. He said they like spit. And he said he have like the abundance of it that followed from that's like he have the abundance of them unto a drop that followed from a vessel. I mean, you got so much of it, you know, if something drop, you know, hey, if I got a bathtub full of water and one small drop fall out, am I going to go scoop that drop up and put it back in the tub? Oh, I need that, you know.
I'm tripping on that.
I'm not worried about that. Verse 57, and now, O Lord, behold these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing. They always been reputed as nothing, meaning they always had that reputation of being nothing. And you ask a heathen, you know, like, you know your people are, you know, devils. And we ask them at camp, you know your people wicked. They, well, yeah, and you know what they did to y'all was wrong. You know, if I could take it back, I would take it back. You know, they know that they devils. It says, have ever been reputed as nothing and have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. That's how we narrow out who these heathen is. Because they wearing out the saints of the Most High. God. It says, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn. So like, give me that in Exodus 4 and 22. It says, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn. Well, who did the Most High call his firstborn? Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 4 and verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
God, and there you have it. The Most High called Israel his firstborn.
God.
It's a lot. So it says 50. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 58. But we thy people who thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten. Well, who does he call his only begotten? This is Baruch 3 and 36. He had found out all of the way of knowledge, and have given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved. Well, look, here you got it right here. Thy only begotten and thy fervent lover are given unto their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? You know, Ezra was a really curious man. He wanted to know all of these things, but the Most High, you know, he not finished. You wouldn't even understand. What did he tell Ezra? Go weigh me some fire.
Go weigh some fire. Measure the blast of a wind.
He said, man, how fast was that gust of wind? Then he said, nigga, go get me yesterday.
Go get yesterday.
He said, go get yesterday. If you can do that, you know, these are things that you see every day, but you can't even break it down. You don't even understand it. So why would you be able to understand these heavenly things? Con. Right. So Esdras, he was tough. Esdras is tough, but he go hard. A Levite, you know. Esdras was going hard through the spirit, but you can go ahead and grab what you have to grab out.
Oh, nah, it's all right. We can
wait on that.
Yeah, we can wait on that. We can start out.
Con.
Start out at Isaiah 46 and 13.
It's a lot. You want me to grab it for you?
Con. And
call it one more time.
Isaiah 46 and 13. And in the beginning, we read Malachi 3 and 6, saying that the Lord changed not. So that would mean this verse right here does not change. And after this, we're going to get into it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 13. I bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion, for Israel my glory.
For Israel my glory. He said he will place salvation in Zion for Israel his glory. He didn't say he was going to place salvation in the world for everybody. He didn't say that. He said he's going to place salvation in in Zion for Israel. Slakia. And that's just going on. Salvation is only for Israel. We can stop right there, really. He changed not. Salvation is for Israel. 2 precepts. Bam. We can close the book. But for simple people, we got to break it down.
For Jake, you know.
For Jake. Not even... I don't mean simple people as in, you know. I'm talking about pastors. Because they ain't going to listen to that. They ain't going to get that. Well, no. John 3:16, brother. We did a video on that one.
What did it say on Galatians? I said Galatians. Galatians 3 and 28.
Galatians 3 and 28.
And we're going to touch on all of that.
We're going to touch on all that. We're going to break all this down.
Hey, but Khan, a good point. We got Malachi 3 and 6, and we have this verse showing that salvation is only for Israel. I showed you Jeremiah 3 and 23. So if Malachi 3 and 6 say that it's only for he don't change, and these verses is saying that salvation is only for Israel, then that would mean all of these Old Testament, books, they would have to be, a void. They would have no meaning then if he just all of a sudden change and say, look, well, the heathens, the actual heathens, the Europeans, the Edomites, the Elamites, the Moabites, all of these people can all of a sudden be grafted in. Then all of these books and all of these prophecies from the prophets would be for no reason.
No reason.
God, right?
They just in vain.
Well, why wouldn't we just start out with that? Why go through all of this?
Why wouldn't we just get to the point?
All the Egyptians that had us, Egypt had us. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, look, now they get the kingdom.
Why don't we just have a New Testament Bible?
God. And you know what's crazy? I've seen somebody walking around with just a New Testament Bible. I'm like, oh, whoa.
They got a gun with no bullets in there.
What you doing with that?
That's all that is. It's a gun with no bullets.
Come on.
But I got another precept, Numbers 23 and 19. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? He's not going to lie on this. He said it. He going to make it good.
That's right.
He placed salvation in Zion for Israel.
That's right.
Go ahead and give me Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16.
This is where it all boils down to.
Salak. I said 16. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Go to 64.
Con.
Jump down to 64. So he said if we don't do all these things that he's hearkening, like he's telling us to do, all these curses are gonna come upon us. And we didn't do what he told us to do.
Con.
Obviously that's why we're here.
Con, let me get that precept though, because we always say that, you know, the Israelites didn't do it, so they went through these curses, but we never pull that precept. Con, let me get it real quick. It's in Daniel, Salak.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. So there you have it. We actually did go off. So, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So he's going to scatter us among the four corners of the earth. And that means he's going to scatter us among heathens. We're going to be around Gentiles. And what do you think is going to happen when we get around Gentiles? We're going to start learning the way of the Gentiles. And you got to think of it like this. Gentiles know who Israel is. They know we got the true living God. Gentiles don't like that. They don't like us because they know we're a chosen people. So how do you think they're gonna treat our people? They're not gonna treat us good. But go ahead and give me Deuteronomy 32:26. You got a precept or something?
Con.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 106 and 35. It says, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. And there you have it. We were mingled among the heathen, and next thing you know, we Africans. We were mingled among the heathen, and next thing you know, we Greeks.
Not even that. We Africans and Americans.
Hey, it gets crazier.
Oh, nah, that worked. Both of them.
It's a next level of confusion. Hey, we're mingled among the heathen. Hey, now we're celebrating the Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Now we got a dragon fit on, you know, the Chinese garment.
Now we black.
Hey, now we in America celebrating Christmas.
That color.
Right?
That don't even make sense.
Right.
Scratch what I told you to get. You can go to 1 Kings 11:28. We finna the Bible deals with similitudes. So we finna get into how Israel got separated. They got separated into two kingdoms. It was house of Judah and the house of Israel. So now we finna get into that. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 28. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man, that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. Verse 29.
It's like in the house of Joseph is basically Ephraim. That's the chief tribe of the northern kingdom. Slaki, go ahead.
And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahijah the Shilonite found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. So
now we got Jeroboam and Ahijah, and these two are in the field, face to face. Go ahead.
Verse 30, and Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces.
He rent the garment. He rent Jeroboam's garment into 12 pieces. This representing 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 31, and he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces.
Jeroboam, you get 10 pieces. Go ahead.
For thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
Con.
But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel.
Con.
Going into the Levites, because the Most High chose them as his inheritance.
Con.
Con.
So he gave Jeroboam 10 tribes. And the 10 tribes is representing the northern kingdom: Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, going on and on. Meanwhile, we have the other 2 tribes, which is Judah and Benjamin. But Levi is also added into that. Because, what did you say again?
So, like, what you want? What did you say?
No, what did you say again? Levi was
the inheritance of the Most High, right?
Con, yeah, Con.
Con. They did the work of the Most High firsthand, you know?
Con.
As far as the sacrifices. Hey, they were supposed to be the ones who break down the law, too.
Con. So, now we finna get into how the northern kingdom got taken away into captivity. Give me 2 Kings 17 and 5.
Con. And can I touch on something real quick?
Go ahead.
Hey, and you got Jeroboam. He went off. Now, we could do a lesson over this in the future, but for the sake of time, we're not going to go into all of that and pull all the precepts. But just know that Jeroboam went off, and you could go ahead and read it yourself and tell you how, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom actually went to war too. But yeah, for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and just jump to the 2 Kings 17 and 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. Verse 6, in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes.
Jump down to verse 23.
Con, this is the book of 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight.
Israel is the northern kingdom, like I said earlier. It's not talking about Judah, not dealing with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's talking about the house of Israel, not the house of Judah, the house of Israel. It's not the whole Israel as one. It's the northern kingdom. Go ahead.
As he had said by all his servants, the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
Unto this day, until this account was written.
Huh.
It's a lot. Go to
Hosea. What?
Don't you got some in Tobit?
Oh yeah, Con.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Con.
And when they were removed into captivity, they start doing heathenish things.
Con.
And after that, the Lord wasn't dealing with them. We're going to get that. I'm going to get that. Go ahead.
Con. So this is the book of Tobit. I'm going to start at chapter 1, verse 1, so we can get a little bit of history on it. So it says, the book of the words of Tobit, the son of Tobiel, the son of Aniel, I always mess up on his name, Aniel, the son of Aduel, the son of Gabael, of the seed of Asael, of the tribe of Naphtali. So you got Tobit there, one of the northern kingdom brothers from the tribe of Naphtali, and we're going to see what's going on. Verse 2, who in the time of Ebenezer, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thisbe. So here you have it. Tobit, he was led away captive. He was in captivity, with the rest of the northern kingdom. It says the Assyrians was Slakia, who in the time of Ebenezer, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Thisbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali and Galilee above Asher. I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice, and I did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation who came with me to Nineveh into the land of the Assyrians. So you got Tobit, and he in the land of Nineveh with his brothers, serving in captivity because of what the leaders of Israel, what the leaders of the northern kingdom wanted to do. They went off.
I got a precept. This is Tobit chapter 13, verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. That's just going on back to the curse in Deuteronomy. He scattered them among them. Go ahead and give me a Hosea 1 and... You can start at 7. No, you can start at 6.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Con.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 6 or 7.
You can start 6.
Verse 6. And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, Call her name Lahuama, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel.
The house of Israel. This is dealing with the northern kingdom. Slot, go ahead.
But I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah.
The southern kingdom, Benjamin, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Go ahead.
And will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
Con, go ahead.
You want me to jump to 10?
9.
Okay. Then, verse 9, then said God, Call his name Lohami. It's like it. Did I say that right? Lo-ami. For ye are not my people, and I will not be your God.
So the Most High was not dealing with the northern kingdom in any way, shape, or form. This is, we're going to get into it later, but this is what the grafting in is for. The grafting in is for the northern kingdom because he was not dealing with them at that time. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Verse 11.
Okay.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Con. So it said, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, be joined together. And this is, we're going to get into this later too. And appoint themselves one head, Yahweh Shai. And for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So great that day will be when they come together to be one again.
Con. Hey, and if you read that book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, we're going to get into all of that. Matter of fact, what you want me to grab?
Give me 1 Maccabees 1:11. Now we finna get into where how the southern kingdom start going off.
Because we just showed you with the northern kingdom how they went off. We didn't go into detail with Jeroboam and what he did particularly, but we will go into that, Lord willing. But we're going to go ahead and talk about the southern kingdom, how they went into captivity, and how they started going off and starting to act like heathens. Right? And you know in Jeremiah, it say, learn not the way of the heathens. And you know, they knew what was going on. You wanted me to get Maccabees?
1 Maccabees 1:11.
So this is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1. It's like it, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
So this is, now we're talking about Israel. This is still dealing with the, not dealing with the northern tribe, but just dealing with the southern tribe, southern kingdom. And wicked men came out of Israel. Go ahead.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go, it's like it, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Now, since they departed from them, stuff started going south. They started being weird now. So now they trying to convince people of the nation, let's go make a covenant with them. It's the only way. Lord, you know, they not even dealing with the Lord right now. If they was, they wouldn't be going through this. So, you know, keep reading.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
So, according to the customs of the heathen, they built a place of exercise. And the place of exercise, that's a gymnasium. And the literal word for gymnasium is to work out naked. They were doing gay stuff, basically. You can keep going.
Hey, and here in America, you get brothers, you know, they want to be the best football player, the best quarterback, you know, who can shoot it from the, you know, the deepest, you know. I'm pulling threes from back here. I got range. I'm a sharp shooter. You know, I'm on 2K all day. You know, so that's learning the ways of the heathen, you know. So this is Jeremiah 10:1 again. It says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. So there you have it. And here you have it right here. They said they wanted a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. I want to do the customs of the heathen, you know? You want me to go to verse 15?
Yep. Come.
Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
So now they're becoming heathen because they're uncircumcised. They stopped circumcising their kids, and they became spiritually uncircumcised. Go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 5 for me.
Ecclesiastes.
Come.
This the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 5. That's what you wanted?
Come.
3 and 5. A time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing.
So right now is the time to cast away stones. This is what we read in the First Maccabees. Because 1 Peter 2 and verse 5, it says, Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood. And we know that the priest was Levi. This is how we know they're dealing with the southern kingdom. And holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Yahushua HaMashiach. So right now, this was a time to cast away stones. But the time to gather stones is when Yahushua step on the scene. That's when he's going to gather these stones. We're going to tap into that later on.
Come.
Give me 2 Maccabees 4 and 12, please. That verse slide. That time to cast away stones. Yeah, that's slide.
Definitely. I didn't even know you had that in the bag. All right, so this is 2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 11. And the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John the father of the Eupoliums, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. And he took away, putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law.
So now he's going against the law. He know the law. Now he's bringing up new customs to go against the law. Keep reading.
Verse 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise.
So he happily built a place to work out naked.
Hey, happy.
Happily. That sound wicked. Now we know, as Israel, we got to wear clothes. That's off tops. We got to wear clothes. We got to wear fringes. They not wearing fringes. They in there naked.
Hey, and you know, when we go into modest apparel, we always, look at the women. But hey, we got to shed some light on this.
Shed some light on this.
Men, you got to wear modest apparel. You know?
Got to.
Not the jeans that's real tight and, it's hard for you to get your leg out. You got to ease in there,
Tweaking.
Not where you can, the muscle shirt where your chest hanging out on this side,
Jake was off. Jake was off.
Put some decent clothes on. So this is verse 12. I'm gonna call it again.
Yeah,
2 Maccabees 4 and verse 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat.
He brought the chief young men under
his subjection. I got you.
The water. Under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. Now we know in the Jewish custom, not the real Jews, they wear the little, what is it, yarmulke? I don't know what it is.
Nippa.
Something.
They say yarmulke. They say a lot of different things,
They wear that hat. That's a Greek fashion. That's where they get it from Greek, because they are Greek. They not Jewish, they Greek. And that's where they get it from.
Verse 13.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now such was the height of Greek fashions, and increase of heathenish manners.
Heathenish, that we becoming heathens. Go ahead.
Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest.
And no high priest.
Hey, bro was profane. He was going off. Brother was going off, bringing men to his subjection, That's why he told you in 1 Maccabees that these men was wicked.
Wicked.
He said wicked men.
Hold 2 Maccabees 6 and 6 for me. I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is just to let you know that at this time we were becoming heathens. This is 2 Esdras chapter 2 verse 33. I, Esdras, received a charge of the Lord upon the Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of the Lord. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. So that right there, just letting you know, because Esdras went unto Israel from the charge of the Most High. He went unto Israel, and then when they took him not, he called them heathens. Oh, you heathen! Like, why you not dealing with it? You heathen. You know the deal. You know what's going on, but you heathen.
Con. Let me get this precept real quick. I was gonna save it for a little bit later, but you know, quench not the spirit. It's a lot.
God, you good.
Ephesians, that's what I want. Ephesians, it's a lot. 2 and 11. That's what I want. Now, you know, this is just fulfilling what Paul said when Ezra said that. And you should hold that for me though. And I still got your Maccabees. All right, so this is Ephesians 2 and 11. Wherefore, remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So here you have it. The circumcision was calling other men uncircumcision. Look, they ain't nothing but some, you know, uncircumcised niggas.
They heathens.
You know, you got the Israelites who knew that they was Israelites, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, because being circumcised ain't nothing but the keeping of the commandments. It was a covenant or a token or, you know, agreement. You know, circumcise your kids. He did that with Abraham. So here you have it right here. The man that was keeping the commandments, they was calling the ones who didn't keep the commandments, the Israelites who didn't keep the commandments, you know, heathens. They was calling them uncircumcision. They just uncircumcised. What are they doing out there, you know? And here you got Esdras fulfilling what Paul said. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 2 verse 33. I Esdras received a charge of the Lord upon the Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught.
Well, wait. They set him at what?
At naught.
So here you have it. You got Esdras. He got the word from the Most High. Look, you got to go do this. Go tell Israel that this, that, and the third. He's like, all right, well, they probably not going to hear me, but I'll go anyway. You know, you said it, it's going to get done. So boom. He go down there and tell him, you got to keep the commandments. You got to do this. You got to come out of her. And they like, look, you know, get away from us, nigga. You tripping. We trying to get them to the Greek. You know, they trying to do other things.
We kicking it.
Yeah, we with the Medes right now. We Persian, bro. What are you talking about? We not Israelites, you know. Go ahead.
And despise the commandment of the Lord.
They what?
And despise the commandment of the Lord.
They said, look, bro, that sound like a lot. You know, I'm cool on that. You got anything better? Go ahead.
And therefore, I say unto you, O ye heathen.
Look, he said, well, look, you a damn heathen. So here you have it right here. He said, because you know that Esdras was circumcised. You know he was keeping the commandments. You can't, he said, take the mote out of thine own eye first. So he had to been, you know, doing what was required of him and keeping them commandments if he trying to go, you know, get the other sheep of the other fold. So here you got Esdras going to the Israelites and they saying, look, nah, I'm cool. We don't want to do that. He's like, all right, well, you a heathen, you know. Yeah. You an Israelite, because he told you in that verse. Read that verse again. He said Israel.
I, Ezra, received the charge of the Lord upon the Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Israel.
That he should go unto Israel. Go ahead.
But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of the Lord. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen.
O ye heathen, man. And that's how we be at camp. Like, goddamn, Jake. You know,
they comfortable. This is not your resting place.
Hey, they real comfortable here in America. Especially Eve, you know. She get the Wi-Fi.
She good.
She get the Wi-Fi and she big. Oh, don't give her the Cheetos.
Don't give her the Cheetos.
The Snapple.
She chilling.
Hey, and a couple of different niggas to text.
I'm good. One of them for food. One of them for attention.
One of them for rides.
One of them for rides.
And one of them for pleasure.
For pleasure. They comfortable.
They cool.
Wicked.
They don't need nothing else. And you know they got their daughter in the back. You know. Wicked. Not just one. Probably, you know, a couple of them. A couple of kids. Command adultery. Just fornication. Hey, and speaking of fornication, you got spiritual fornication. That's how men became uncircumcised, by committing spiritual fornication. You know, going after devising of idols. And I'm going to get that for you real quick in Wisdom of Solomon.
Worshiping other gods. Because we supposed to be made to the Most High. But you going and off and, you know.
You cheating on the Most High with another God.
The Most High with another God, exactly.
Hey, to give it in simplicity. You cheating on the Most High.
And that's the utmost disrespect. He brought us out of the land of Egypt.
Hey, that's like... Hold on, what bro say? I'm going to just make it my own way. That's like me bringing you out of... I can't even say, that's scary. That's like me buying... Okay, I'm going to say this. I can't put my... That's like me buying you McDonald's, right? And you like, thanks, brother. You know? You know, you don't... Like, what can I do for this? I'm like, nah, charge it to the game. You cool. I walk out the room and come back and you like, hey... Appreciate you for buying me McDonald's to a whole nother nigga. You know, like,
thanks,
hey,
John.
Yeah, bro, that's like, bro, what is you doing?
You lying?
I'm confounded. You know, like, what is you doing? Cons. I got this precept here in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. So here you got it. When these men started making these different idols, that was the beginning of cheating on the Most High, of spiritual fornication. That's how they beginning to begin. Get that in Maccabees. My fault. I think I was holding it. It's a lot. That's how you start committing spiritual fornication. Oh, it's 1. That's what it is. It's 1 and 15. And this is First Maccabees 1 and 15. It's a lot, God. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. They forsake. Hey, they said, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to circumcise my kids. What is this? What is this guy talking about? Well, you see that star, bro? Like, that look nice. Like, you know, let's, you know, get on our knees and
pray to that.
Yeah, let's make sure that we keep those stars up there every night. You know, and shoot up. You know,
in vain.
Hey, and they stopped keeping the commandments.
Matter of fact, I think I got Go ahead. Hold on.
Hey, that don't make no sense. Hey. How you gonna worship the creature and the creations more than the creator? And now you serving fire. And now you serving, you know, stars.
This is what we're going through right now. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage. They start calling themselves Greek. We start calling ourselves African American, black, every name under the sun except what we are. That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
God. Hey, he told you that he was a jealous God.
God.
From the beginning, look. First commandment, do not put none else before me, nigga.
His name is jealous.
Look, stop playing with me.
Stop playing.
Now, I gotta get this, bro. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature. Hey, by nature, men just ain't shit, you know? Y'all ain't nothing. Why is you so puffed up and proud, folk?
You ain't got nothing.
Hey, it be the poorest niggas. We so poor, nothing. But we be, you know, don't give us a little Gucci belt.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Don't say that.
Doesn't even make sense.
Bro, that is vexing. Okay, surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God, and could not out of the good things that are seen, known him that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster. So you got Israelites, they live day to day, and they don't even consider the things that's in the world no more, you know? They just ignorant of the whole thing. They here on earth, you know, and they see, you know, fire, you know, but, you know, it don't make sense. You got the seas, the river, you know, and they flow back into you got all of these different courses of nature, you know? And you got simple things like your hands, you can pick up stuff. How did he make this so perfect?
You got fingerprints.
Hey, you breathe self-consciously and keep yourself alive with oxygen. You blink when your eyelids get dry, you know, things like that. It's just so simple, like, you know, how? Hey, we can go here all day.
How?
We'd be here you got water and it's just clear and you drink it and it's just like, well, I need that.
It's pure.
Hey, you get thirsty. Well, you know, why do you need this, you know? Hey, we can be here for a long time. Like how? How did he do this? You got wind, you know. You got smells. You got a sense of touch.
You got taste.
You got taste buds. These things is like, how did he do it?
They don't even consider it.
They don't even consider it. They don't even care. They just like, look, we here for a good time, you know, not a long one.
Yep.
You know?
Even.
That's why man is vain. It says, this is verse 2, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. And we gotta deal with that. We gotta deal with that. People worship fire, the circle of stars. Like, bro, you see that big dipper, then you got the little dipper, then you got, you know, and they start getting real deep into that.
And that's what the Greeks did. They drew their gods in the stars. Oh yeah, that's Artemis.
Right.
That's Zeus. That's
right.
Zeus. You don't see Zeus? That's Zeus right there.
He looking at us right now.
Looking at us.
Be careful what you do. He can see you, you know?
That's what the what is it called? Leo and Scorpion and all that. What is that called again?
Oh, damn, I didn't came out of that, bro. I don't know. It's
Zodiac.
Zodiac sign. There
oh,
it is.
That's based off of stars. It's the Zodiac stuff. Leo, this, that.
Hey, fire, wind, swift circle of stars, violent water. Hey, people worship the ocean and the moon, and you know, you see it on different TVs.
Going off. But don't even worship the man that created it.
That don't make sense, all right?
Don't make no sense.
People really worship fire. Hey, you got Esau, you know, you see it in the Flintstones and back then. Hey, some of that stuff hold weight. Worshiping fire. Duh. You know?
He said,
yeah. You know? That's really, they get down like that.
They got down like that.
Man, it's more on this, but for the sake of time, but when y'all get time, read, you know, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13. It's nice. Wisdom of Solomon is a good book, man. A good book.
Good hit.
Right?
I'm gonna read 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6. Excuse me. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Hey, and I gotta touch on that. Some people know that verse, but why would they make you, you know, like bring you into subjection to like you can't keep no laws? Why would they do that? Because they know whenever the Lord not behind us, hey, you know, we ain't nothing. We can't do nothing. He told you men they vain, you know, and ignorant of God. So whenever we doing the commandments and we got the Lord on our side, they can't do nothing with us. That's why they enforce laws here in America. And the same thing happened. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So you got these men not letting us keep the commandments. Then you got these men up here promoting us, you know, through predictive programming. Facebook, all of these different attributes go hand in hand. That's basically like forcing us not to keep the commandments. You scroll on your feed and you got a, you know, Eve twerking and stuff. And you just like, damn. You trying to scroll past it? You know, some brothers go back and well, fuck it, I'm here now, you know.
Everything got pork in it.
Almost
everything got pork in it. Everything's defiled.
Hey, water ain't even clean no more.
Water ain't even clean. I don't even know how that works.
They say they purify the water, but you know, they do tests on it and it come out brown. You know, you got fishes coming up dead on the ocean out of nowhere.
Tweaking.
Birds falling out of the sky. Chemtrails everywhere.
White man not even near the polar bear and he's suffering. Global warming.
All these animals, they fed up with Esau, man. I'm telling you. Everybody is fed up with the spiritual demon Satan. And he walking around, you know, as a man now. Well, from the beginning. But let me go ahead and get this. Select. This is Judah 5:20. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. The only time that we could be overthrown or overcome or brung down is whenever the Lord is not on our side. And we know that the Lord can't deal with wickedness. He can't be around that sin. You know? So they try and keep us in sin so the Lord can't be around us and be on our side. You know?
I'm going to go ahead and keep reading.
Go ahead.
And, hold on. Before I keep reading, it says, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. If he can't say he a Jew and he dealing with Greeks, off top, he's just going to say he a Greek. And then what happens after that? When he get a kid, all he gonna know is he is a Greek.
Damn.
Same kid after that. Yeah, I'm a Greek. They don't know. They don't even know about being Israel no more. They don't know about law, statutes, commandments, none of that. All they know is Greek, stars, Zeus, gymnasiums, gay stuff. That's all they know now.
Come. That's right.
And this is 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. So now they had to be partakers of the heathen sacrifices. And that goes into the heathen gods. Can you hold
What is talking about?
the baby
Yeah, I got it.
the baby's kind. All right. And whosoever would not conform themselves, this is verse 9, and whosoever would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery.
Come.
So, if you didn't do what they said, you get put to death. And people didn't want to die. I mean, that's just off tops. People didn't want to die. So, guess what they did? They called themselves Greek. They sacrificed unto their gods. So, now that's all they know.
It's a lot. And that's why when people go into Galatians and they read chapter 3, verse 28, there's neither Jew nor Greek. They all confounded. They all, well, look, I told you we could be saved. Well, no, that's talking about Israelites.
Fine.
That's talking about the southern tribe, the southern kingdom going into captivity. So it ain't got nothing to do with you, heathen, you know?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Why would the Greeks be able to get saved if we reading all the wicked stuff the Greeks is doing? And
To the
especially
Israelites,
putting
right.
on the sons of God. That don't even make sense. But you can go ahead and get that out.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that they had caused their children to be circumcised. So you had women that was going hard. They like, look, bump that. I'm keeping the commandments. They probably on the low, you know how Jake is. When we really got to do something, really want to do something, really want to be there, and look, we making it slide by all means. So you got, we always on Eve head like they wicked. Hey, these women was trying to, they was threatened with death. Some of them women was still circumcising their kids. Verse 61. And they hang the infants about their necks. Slakia. I'm going to start from 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and